Hello there, you're watching and listening to another Scoutcast from www.fantasyfootballscout.co.uk, and my name is Mark.
My name's Jonty.
My name's Andy.
And I'm Luke.
Good evening, gentlemen. How do I find you? You all good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, really well.
We've got Granville missing again. He's pursuing his political career at the Labour Party conference, I believe.
He is.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, we come second to that. Fair enough. That's fair enough. There's a lot of important issues going on. A lot of important issues going on with the England team as well. We won't dally on that, but it was quite a day today in that respect. It's been a good game week, though. Wild cards are active. Andy and Luke, you both played your wild card. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm more active last week.
Okay, so we'll go through those. Granville's not here to pick holes in them, which is a shame because he's very, very good at that. But Jonty and I will try and fill in for him and be as critical as possible, won't we, Jonty?
Yes. Well, no, I don't know. It wouldn't be cruel because I'm always an advocate of a wild cards, not just for Christmas.
Oh no, of course.
For a number of weeks.
It's not just about the first game week, as my own wild card has proved. I had a very disappointing first week after my wild card, but the last two have been pretty effective. So much so that I'm giving my wild card 9 out of 10. But that's just me speaking. Not Granville's not here to give it a 4, which is I think what he wanted to give it after that first week. Yes, we're going to talk game weeks. We're going to talk your game weeks in Rough with a Smooth. We're going to talk about the captaincy, which is apparently not just Aguero every week, Jonty. Apparently, you're going to make a case for all right. You're going to make a case for other names to be thrown in the mix. We're going to talk Liverpool again. I think Jonty's got another kind of tenuous theory to replace the Tottenham one that shall not be named because we mention it every single week and we're going to try not to mention it this week. We're going to look at defenders as well. Defences are a problem. 25 clean sheets so far this season. Not enough. And so defensive investments are a problem. Jonty's got some stats, no doubt, to back up some theories about some targets there. So plenty to talk about. Plenty of questions from the community. But first of all, our game weeks. I'll start, 72. Jonty, you've put here, Defoe at the double. Yeah, fair enough. Template midfield comes up chump skin. Template midfield? Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
When I bought Sanchez and when I bought Sterling, they had less than 50% of the ownership they've got now.
See, once again, you're looking at... But once again, you're looking at ownership in terms of the 3.5 million that are playing.
Okay.
Well, the ownership in terms of the people who are playing seriously, and bearing in mind about 12% are now dormant teams, have now vanished. So that's going to increase as the season goes on. But it's those teams that are doing the buying and selling and really paying attention. And all of those, particularly on that wildcard week, those are the ones that were shooting up and getting all the interest. And so the template that formed over that wildcard and the next wildcard is basically Antonio, Sterling, and Sanchez and a Liverpool midfielder. And so that's your template midfield.
I think that is a template now.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a great thing because it's got you loads of points. But I don't think you should be shy about saying you've got the template.
We rewind to that game week when I was playing the wild card. There was basically Granville trying to convince me to pick Cafalla. And then everyone was saying, Sterling, he played that first game after the wild card and he got subbed after an hour and
Sterling was getting loads and loads of people buying Sterling in. Just because Granville wasn't buying it doesn't mean...
The week after, I honestly thought I'd made a mistake with Sterling.
Don't be bashful about having the template midfield. You've done nothing different. It's fine. It's fine to have the template.
You've pressed my button. You know I hate the template.
It's fine to have the template. You've got the template. And it's paying off dividends for you, which is great.
Yeah, okay. You know that was a slight. You know you pressed my buttons there, Jonty. 72 points. Yeah, did all right. Defoe was a nice surprise. Sanchez, yes, come good. I did go on about Cafalla versus Sanchez, and we said, I remember saying that if Cafalla gets penalties, fine, but he's not going to get them every week. And then Sanchez, when he's on the streak, he's on the streak, and I'm sure his name's going to come up when we talk about captaincies later on as well. So yeah, and Sterling. Yeah, different player. See the goal? He's like beating players, calm finish. Where did that composure come from? Where was it last year? What is going on? Absolutely crazy. I saw some stats that he's running double the yards that he did last season. It's very odd. Very odd. So, yes, 72 points. Very pleased with that. But we'll go to Jonty next on 58.
Yeah,
Captain Aguero. That does give us the cracks, doesn't it?
Well, I did a template captaincy there, like yourself, Aguero, and but my differential midfield came up trumps with Özil there, which was great. And I played
with a finish now, didn't you?
I played my all-out attack chip because I don't like that chip, and so I just don't care about it. And one of the reasons I did is because going into the Saturday morning, I actually had Özil on my bench because that
was crazy.
And I wanted to play Kapui because it's on a Monday night, and I just wanted a Monday night player. I quite like to do that. But then I just thought, that's crazy. So I was thinking, I'll get Sterling in for Özil, spend some money on it. But then I looked, and weirdly, I think I spoke to Andy on Twitter. Özil actually had better home underlying stats than Sterling did away for some reason. And so I just thought, well, look, actually, Özil's actually doing okay at home. So let's give him a go again. And I went for that chip. But it was a good job I did because I've had, like a lot of people, a real problem in defence. Baines was injured, so Baines was out. So basically, I was left with Valencia. Johnny Evans came in for him, so my two defenders. But then the rest of it was rubbish. It was Collins who didn't play, and Amat who didn't get anything. So
a bit disappointing. And Kapui, Watford were poor, weren't they?
They were.
Burnley just didn't let them play later.
Well, I mean, I think as we're going to hear from our two wildcarders, and there'll be a lot of people watching and listening who wildcarded, who went for Watford. They've got great fixtures coming up. Why not? And they probably were watching that match going, oh my God, what have I done? I've got a championship side who were getting beaten by another championship side.
Yeah, I spoke to a couple of people today who went heavy on Watford. They got 3 and they were like, I'm really worried now. I don't know. I mean, I think Burnley look what they did to Liverpool. I think they can stop teams playing, which is why I'm a bit worried about Arsenal next. But
they've only conceded 2 of 4 games at home. So, Watford did well in the previous 2 games against West Ham United. So I'm not overly worried now. I think we'll come on to it later. But it was a bad game for us that brought them in. But going forward, hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it's too early at John, and Watford have still got those 4 fixtures which are very strong. So I still think there's plenty of potential there. It's a shame that Holebas got the 4th card though, because that was a straightforward transfer for me this week, going to Holebas in. But now I'm kind of don't know. Okay, let's get on to the wildcarders. Luke, you're next then. So how did you do? 54 points? Meh. Not really. First game week after the wild card doesn't really matter. It's what follows that's best. But what was the story with that wild card?
Pretty much most of the rest of the season, really. Is it pretty much no points in defence at all? Went into Monday night like many, like you've already mentioned, banking on Holebas. That didn't work out. Deeney as well let me down. But I was sitting quite smug when I had De Bruyne instead of Sanchez, and he got those 2 jammy assists. I was thinking, lovely, I've done a good move here. And then obviously Sanchez went on to outscore him. So that was probably my biggest mistake, taking De Bruyne over Sanchez. But I still think it made sense on paper with the fixture, just to play it on that wild card, just to try it. But aside from that, Aguero captain, Sterling as well, like yourselves, happy with that. But I'm pretty happy with my team moving forward, and I have to echo your guys' thoughts about Watford. I mean, they smashed Man United the game before that. I just think it's so up and down this league at the moment. You just don't know. I think next game they could be incredible. You just don't know.
Yeah, I just think Burnley are a horrible team to play. I think they're difficult on a Monday night as well, under lights, cold. Burnley fancied it. I rate Sean Dyche, and he was up against his former club. So I think I think you'll be all right with Deeney. I like Deeney. I think the next 4 he will do well, and he's on penalties, and I think you'll get at least a couple out of him over the next 4. Whether that'll be enough, whether that will compare well to others in the bracket, I don't know. But I think he'll do all right. So 54, like I said, I had a miserable week after the first week of the wild card. I was like, oh, that was like your game week, a bit like no impact at all. But obviously, it's what happens after that counts. Andy, 45 points, so flipped it round. You're not happy at all, though. I mean, do you see a chink of light from it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a hope that long term it'll be good. I think I've got a pretty decent midfield. My main problem was I tweeted on Friday night that I was happy with my team, and at that point, or the team that I'd chosen wildcard, at that point I had Rashford and Sanchez. And then I went to bed that night, and about 4:30 in the morning, I had a dream. It was that video of Ibra having that interview for FPL where he said it's a mistake if you don't own him.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, here we go. What's going to happen if I just get rid of him in my wildcard? And then, so the next morning, that was in my head. And then it was a decision between Sanchez and Rashford, who both scored, versus Ibra and the 6 million mid. They were picked Benassi, and yeah, they both blanked. And the rest of it was just a nightmare, really. Captain Aguero was great, but nothing in defence. I had Baines, which was just super unlucky. Obviously didn't play. I took Lovren knowing that he might not play. Yeah. And then they both came off for 2 0-pointers in Holebas and Amat. So yeah, it was just awful. I just have to hope, I suppose, long term. Now I don't have a choice really. Don't have another wild card up my sleeve, so yeah.
Not getting rid of Ibra. I mean, he's just falling through the floor price-wise as well, isn't he? That's the other.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what hurts, is that it wasn't just keeping him. It was that it was going to be Sanchez and Rashford, and obviously they both scored. Now they've both gone up in price. So I had planned to do the swap in a couple of weeks. My hope was that Ibra would outscore Sanchez in the next two, which now looks kind of unlikely. So yeah, now price has gone up. It's going to take a hit if I want to do that now. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare choice, but it's done now.
The thing is that, I mean, I'll be having dreams about Ibra prior to the Stoke game for very different reasons, because that's terrifying. For anyone who doesn't have Ibra going into against Stoke, we're going to be worried. So I think that he could easily get those points back there, because Sanchez is going to Burnley, and that looks nice, and Sanchez is on a hot streak. But even so, Burnley we've already seen and can stop teams playing. So whereas Stoke, I don't think they can stop anyone playing. Let alone Ibra. So I think you could be all right. It's the Rashford thing's a blow low, and Balassi, don't know. I hope Everton, after the defeat of Bournemouth, aren't going to go back into their old ways of being inconsistent, because they look like a bit of an efficient machine under Koeman. But Bournemouth, I think, are a bit like Burnley. They're an effective team at home. They've won 2 games 1-0, and I think can shut teams down. So that's always a tricky place to go, it seems. So apart from the goals they've conceded against United and City, they've been quite tight, Bournemouth. So I don't know if we can read too much into that either. So, like I say, there's still time with the wild card. It could still be a success. John T, your views on it? I mean, do you think there's mistakes there?
What, in Andy's wild card?
No,
I don't think so, because as you said, it's just got to look at it. I mean, it's just one of those weeks where Lovren got ill. So Lovren's a great choice. And same with the Watford ones. We just don't know. I mean, they performed really poorly on Monday, but as you said, I mean, as Luke said, they beat Manchester United the week before. I mean, thumped Manchester United, really. I mean, they completely outplayed them. So, time will tell. But also, I mean, we'll come to Zlatan a bit in a mo. But I imagine even if you kept him on a wild card, you kept him for these 2 games, and then you're probably going to be reassessing, because there's a couple of tricky fixtures before fixtures get a bit better again. So you might be reassessing anyway. So I think it's worth giving Ibrahimovic a go for a couple of games. So I don't think it's too many mistakes.
Yeah, he's got a Burnley home fixture coming up, but then you've got to get through the Liverpool-Chelsea game. So the thing is, you've got to think that it was fixture-proof. I don't think that really comes into it. It's just United weren't playing well, but they found their knack at set pieces.
Well, it's it's more how Mourinho sets up his teams against the better sides. And just traditionally, when he was with Chelsea, that's what we can go against. And also when they played Man City, it's slightly more defensive. He sets up not to lose. And so that's obviously going to be less chances, less goal attempts. So that's just my theory about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be that way. Against Liverpool, I think he will be scared of Liverpool. I don't think he'll be that scared of Chelsea, but I think he'll be worried about Liverpool.
He didn't do it against Leicester, though, did he? Set up quite attackingly, very attacking lined up.
Yeah, I just think their supremacy on set plays came to the fore there. And maybe it will against Liverpool. I mean, they don't have the means to deal with the big guys United have got either. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. That'll be an interesting game, the way Liverpool are playing at the moment. Okay, let's look at the community rough of the smooth. We've got some Capoue stories in there, I guess, as well.
Well, yeah, God Farmer, he played Capoue over Defoe, which on reflected hindsight sounds absolutely insane. But obviously you go into
that last week, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you go into it with the Capoue kind of onslaught of Capoue this, Capoue that, and then obviously Defoe's the one who gets the 2 goals. So yeah, but Supersonic LFC, his wildcard defence was another shocker. He got Pickford, Jakupovic, who looks like he's lost his place now. Walker, Holebas, Amat, Lovren, and Baines. So out of those 7 players, 2 got 1 point, the rest got 0. So that looks bad. And I think there's problems there. I think people who've got Pickford and Jakupovic are going to have problems because when Manoni comes back, then there's no goalies for them. So
Pickford's never going to lose his place.
Well, he will eventually.
Lose his place to Manoni. He won't.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that means you've got to play Sunderland goalie every week. So.
Yeah, I think you need a backup. Jakupovic is the problem.
He's
got Walker and Baines. I think he's got a great defence.
Yeah, Walker and Baines and Lovren. It's all good. It's all good there, I think. But yeah, they were just illness. So we'll see. Time will tell. But I think that defence probably do all right in the end. Cream of the crop. I mean, talk about captains. I mean, we didn't hesitate with Aguero, but cream of the crop went for Firmino. A risk, but didn't pay off.
He had a great fixture though, didn't he? And it turned out
he had a great fixture, and he had a great. It wasn't like he was slacking. He had 4 goal attempts, 3 of them were in the box. Made 5 chances. I mean, he was racking up similar scores to, except the crucial ones, goals and assists.
I don't know, though. I was watching it. It's very frustrating watching the game because Firmino just wasn't in the right areas, and I think it's been brought up a lot on the site in the last week about he kind of enables players to get around him and get forward around him, and he kind of is the link man. And listening to Klopp last night was very interesting. I'm just keeping faith in him because I think he got the 2 goals against Leicester and obviously turned it around there, and he could do it again at Swansea, but. It's a bit of a worry. I do think I could have made the wrong decision there, definitely.
I think he plays well against tough opposition sometimes. You just don't know how it's going to play out. But we'll talk about Liverpool in a bit. Smooth ones. Here's some good ones. Hazard and Ibrahimovic out. This is Lagod. Got Hazard and Ibrahimovic out for Sterling and Aguero captain. Yeah. That's pretty good. Teddy Bruschi got a 38-point swing by taking Barkley and Zaza out for Lallana and Captain Aguero.
What was he doing with Zaza in the first place?
I've got no idea, but that was a good move. He turned it around quick, so 38-point swing. Yeah. And KTK Interesta gives a shout out to my assists imminent table, which had Milner on it, my favourite. And so we brought him for the assists. He couldn't believe.
He got the assists and he got the assists
and he gets the penalties. But along with Aguero, with that move that he made, 19-point swing he works out. So some pretty smooth customers this week.
Yeah, it was a good game week all round. I mean, it was decent scoring, and the good news is we're nearly at game week 8, aren't we? So it all goes right for game week 8, doesn't it? So we don't know how it's going to go right, but it will somehow. Something will happen. Okay, community questions. Captaincies. Yeah. Now, surely this is cut and dry. It's Aguero. Why is there even any questions about it?
You would think that, but I think they're right to look around at others. So Gussenbaum asks, basically says, for those that don't own Ibrahimovic, so he's assuming that Ibrahimovic against Stoke at home is a good captaincy fixture. But he says, is Sanchez an option, or is Burnley too tough? What about Lukaku at home to Crystal Palace? But is he our famous troll Lukaku? And various other ones as well. Baines on Toast asks me personally if I'm scared about being a non-Sanchez owner. Yeah, too right I am. Look at his scores over the last few weeks. His band's on fire. So yes, the gist is here. There's a hell of a lot of options. So
it's funny because I've just looked at the captain poll thinking, well, I'm going to see Aguero out in front by some margin. He's not. No. Sanchez and Ibra are second and first and second.
And I think that's going to continue all week. I think it's going to be those two. And then Aguero third.
Well, that's funny. I was on the way, I was walking home thinking, right, okay, I was thinking about my team for the weekend. These little moments where I think about my team, normally, on my walks to work, from work and so on, bit of spare time. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to go Sanchez, I think, captain, because he's going to be a differential for me. No, people aren't going to go Sanchez. But no, maybe that's completely wrong. Maybe I've picked the template captain again. I'm surprised at that. I really am. I just think that Aguero's got those 10 goals in 9 games against Spurs. I thought that he would again be the default, having, he's scoring every game, better than every game under Guardiola. So I'm surprised that is not an option. Luke, what's your views on this? I mean, you don't have Ibra, I take it, so you're going Aguero, are you? You normally just stick with Aguero because you think he's the best player, that's it, done, job done.
Yeah, pretty much. But I do think this is one week where we might be able to differentiate from him. It's going to be Aguero all season, isn't it? So you've got to pick your times, I think, to try and make ground. At the moment, it looks really hard to make ground. You can't get any clean sheets whatsoever. The template midfield's already out there. Everyone's got Aguero and Ibra or possibly Lukaku. So you're looking at that third striker spot, like you had Defoe. That's what made you the difference. For your ground, and the only other thing you can look at is captaincy. So I just think for this week, I had Sanchez in mind. KDB's out. So I think maybe that could have an influence. He's been so great for him. It's the first time we've seen him not play. Yeah. That could be a factor.
Yeah. And then they're in Europe, of course, aren't they? I mean, I know Spurs are as well, but City will go to Celtic tomorrow night. So there's that, and the KDB thing could be a massive disruption. Absolutely.
And also, I think Spurs' defence is probably still the best in the league. I mean,
yeah, it is. It is.
And Pochettino, Aguero versus Pochettino, I don't think has been as successful. Those stats are skewed a little bit by just how good he was before Pochettino came to Spurs for Aguero scoring against them. I mean, so I don't know. I think it's a week to take a differential. Potentially, we'll probably end up eating my words. You know, it's Aguero, isn't it? Anything could happen.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it and going, yeah, Sanchez, it's the Sunday game, it's the 4:30 game, it's on TV. It's always nice to have your captain last because if Aguero blanks, then, you know, you're thinking, oh, okay, well, there's no pressure on Sanchez now. It'd be horrible if Aguero doesn't blank, if he gets a couple of goals, it'd be less appealing. But it does appeal to me, having that Sunday captain. Andy, your views on this? I mean, are you going to play safe after having the bad game week?
Didn't Aguero score like 3 or 4 against Spurs?
Yeah,
last year. Yeah. I would never back against Aguero. Not the form he and City are in. I know De Bruyne might make a difference, but they've got quality in spades really. But I've currently got it on Ibra, and I don't know if that's just a case of I think surely he's going to give me something sooner or later. I just think it's a good fixture not to captain Aguero, but I wouldn't go out of my way not to captain him. He's such a good choice every week. I don't think necessarily Spurs will be able to stop him, to be honest. But yeah, I might look elsewhere. Sanchez, I'm not sure about that. I think Burnley are so good at home. They've looked pretty good at home again this season. I wouldn't be expecting a brace or anything there. So yeah, I think there's a few good options this week. I think, yes, it's a good time to look against Aguero. I just don't necessarily think we'll all be happy about it next week.
John, to your views on this, you don't have Sanchez, but you do
have Sanchez. But I don't know if I would have captained Sanchez. It's because of Burnley. I mean, I think as Andy says, I think he'll score, but I can't see them turning Burnley over. It could just be a really annoying game. I mean, it's on paper, Ibrahimovic is the best choice. Him personally, even though he's not scoring, he is getting those goal attempts in, and he's getting them into the box as well. He's doing really well there. Manchester United, if they can keep Rooney out of the side, look like a bit of a force now.
Well, he's confirmed that. He's confirmed he's not going to play against Stoke because he's going to play in the Europa League. So he hasn't come out and said that.
Well, then that's a better Manchester United setup. And Stoke are terrible. I mean, away particularly, they try their best. I mean, I know I put them as a clean sheet last week, but that was because they were up against West Brom at home. But away against Manchester United, the way Manchester United played last week, I just can't. It just looks the best option. But Aguero, it's between those two. I don't know. It could come down to the wire. But if I've kept Ibrahimovic, what I could do is I could go template and get rid of Özil and Ibrahimovic and get Lukaku and Sanchez in for a 4-point hit. Captain Sanchez, there's your template sorted. But I'm not doing that because I have faith in Ibrahimovic. So if I have enough faith to keep him, then I'd surely have to have faith enough to captain him. So that's the way.
Are you not worried about the price? Because the prices are odd this year. There's something going on here because Hazard went down 0-3 last week. And Ibra's probably going to go down 0-3 this week, or by the looks of it, even though it's a Friday kickoff, he might just squeak in as a 0-2. I'm surprised. They're going down really rapidly. They're going up quickly, but I don't know if they're going up any quicker than last year, but they seem to be falling quickly. I don't know if it's got something to do with Hazard's ownership and Ibra's ownership being heavier. But are you not worried that prices are getting away from you? Because Lukaku and Sanchez are going up. Ibra is going down. I mean, Ozil's going to stay okay. But
I'm still like something like 0.8 within doing that swap, which is a swap I intend to do probably in the international break.
Right.
But I could do it now. I don't know. I mean, I said last week, I've set out this thing where I think, I'd like to look at fixtures and underlying stats. If those two, come into orbit of each other, then that's a good pick. I'm not really going with the kind of. It's a bit against what I usually do. I usually go with what the masses are doing, but I'm not doing that, and I feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm a bit out of my comfort zone. I should
very different. Isn't it?
I should get rid of Özil and Ibrahimovic and get Lukaku and Sanchez. But getting rid of Ibrahimovic before Stoke at home seems so odd.
Yeah, and also he is creating the stats you'd be looking for.
He is. Yes, he's doing the stats. So I'm just.
So you're saying faith. So they're saying faith.
I think this is his swan song for me. So let's give him a go.
Okay.
Give
Yeah.
them
Well,
a go.
he's gonna have to do well against Stoke. Otherwise, he's going to sink again over the international break, and then there's going to be a massive exodus because he's going to start dipping below 11.5. It's incredible to see him back at 11.5. It's just very odd. It is definitely quicker. It's much more volatile. Okay, next question then, John T.
Well, yeah, we're looking at Liverpool. So something odd happened for us Firmino owners. He didn't do anything. So this is not my theory, but this is a theory that's been put to me because people know I like these theories. But it's like
this Twitter account under another name.
No. This is Tacky on Matrix at Tacky on Matrix on Twitter. He's often have a little conversation about fantasy football week, and he says, "Are you worried about Coutinho affecting Firmino?" Since 11 of his 12 Premier League goals have come when Coutinho wasn't on the field. And he's since had this verified, it's indeed true. Well, that is a worry, slightly. So what's happening there? Firmino is letting Coutinho get into the better scoring positions, possibly. But that's too much to be a coincidence, like the Dembele theory. So...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's strange. I mean, Coutinho's definitely getting into the box a lot more this season than he's done in previous seasons. That's definitely the case. And I am worried about the way Firmino's playing that team because last year he played the false nine and he still got goals and he looked effective in that role. This year, I don't know. But I just think that Liverpool team is so fluid. Listening to Klopp last night on Sky was fascinating. It was brilliant. He was just out of this world, and that made me feel a bit better about it because he spoke about Firmino and how well he played for him and how important he is, and that reassured me that there was no way Firmino's not going to be in that Liverpool team. But also it made me realise that he was talking about the goals are going to come from everywhere, and it made me realise that the way he sets that team up, it's not going to be the same match to match necessarily. So this theory could be correct, but I just think Liverpool are just you have to take them one game at a time. I don't think they've got a set plan necessarily. I think they just wait and see what happens on the day almost. And the way Klopp was revealing everything about the tactics and the system, and he must have such confidence in the players as individuals to be doing that, which made me feel a lot better. So I'm thinking definitely going to give Firmino more time, but I'm watching for this now. It's fascinating. I like the theories as well, but I don't know about this one. Views on this, Andy? Have you watched enough of Liverpool to know about this one?
Yeah, I didn't know that, to be honest. I mean, I think the way they're playing, Lallana and Mane are going to be the ones going past, and Firmino is going to be the one potentially creating chances. We're just not getting assists off him right now. I'm a little worried too, because someone else asked the question, actually, is there so much choice that we should just avoid them? And I am starting to wonder if that's a good point, because you don't want to keep chopping and changing. Now we've got Firmino, we're kind of stuck with him because unless you've got a wild card, you never ever want to make that sideways move of just bringing in another Liverpool player, usually anyway, because it just feels, even if it's psychological, it just feels like a waste because you're bringing in someone from the same team. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck with him now, and I'm not too bothered because I think the fixtures are good, but I do think personally I've let bias get in the way of Coutinho and Lallana, and I'm judging them based on previous seasons, whereas actually this season they're playing really well, especially Lallana. He's getting so far forward, so many shots and stuff. So yeah, whether the theory will keep up, we'll have to see, I suppose. I'm not hugely worried, but I think I would probably be looking at getting rid of Firmino and not replacing him with a Liverpool mid right now.
Really?
I don't think I'm going to do that, but if I was going to, I don't think I'd swap him for another Liverpool mid, because I just feel then you're just getting into a rut of chasing points with them. I think you just got to hope that the one you've picked's the right one.
Yeah, I think you've got to show a bit of faith. I mean, of all the teams I'm watching, Liverpool's midfield is key for me now, because I look at the fixtures ahead and I think if I don't get this right, I'm going to miss out on a lot of points. Because if you look at game week 9 onwards, it's West Brom at home, Palace away, Watford at home, Southampton away, Sunderland at home, Bournemouth, West Ham, Middlesbrough. They've got an incredible run of fixtures, and so if you get the right Liverpool player, you're going to be absolutely quids in over that run. So I think there's massive incentive to get it right. And I'm quite willing to go Firmino to Mane, I think. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at saving my transfer this week to give me that option over the break, because I might have got it wrong. And I'm looking at Mane a bit more closely now. And he was always the more explosive option. But I preferred Firmino for his all-round cover. But I'm worried about it. So
last week, though, you said... well, just for your wildcard, I think it was. Have you got Firmino?
Yeah.
Because you said either last week or the week before that you thought that was a mistake not having him. Now it's not. Now it's a mistake not having Mane. Like, just feels like we're going to go round and round in circles.
I watched the game. over the weekend, and I was just alarmed at what I saw. So I'm just going to watch the next 2 games and keep an eye on it, because I'm waiting. I'm hoping someone comes out and makes it clear that he's the one. Coutinho's almost there. Mane's probably, maybe, and Firmino at the moment he's the poor relation. He's like 4th in line the way it's, and it's just the one we've gone with. So I think we have to give it a bit more time, because, like I say, Klopp is talking about how fluid his attacking system is, and it is. And I think Firmino could easily do well at Swansea, but I'm going to give it another couple of games because I want to get it right for the spell that's coming up. Because I think one of them, if one of them does come out, that's going to be huge. So we'll have to see. Luke, your views on this? Have you been watching Liverpool? I mean, which one have you got? Firmino as well at the moment?
I had Mane all the way up to a wild card, and then I just needed the money, so I swapped to Firmino. I just think Firmino's surely going to be in the position for cutbacks if Mane's on the outside and people like that, and that's like one of the most common ways to score a goal. I just think it will come. It's just a lottery with Liverpool. And this whole theory with Coutinho and Firmino there, it'd be interesting to see how many times his position changed because Coutinho was out of the team. Did Firmino then fill in at left wing where Coutinho is, or left forward or whatever? Did he change his position because of that? That might have something more to do with it. Because generally if Coutinho doesn't play, Firmino maybe have dropped in. I don't know. You'd have to look at it. But I just think it's a lottery every week. And I think we've already seen Firmino did score 2, got maximum bonus in one game, and it could happen again at any point. I'll just stick with him for now. Like you, I'll be watching, of course, and making sure I'm not just mental. But
yeah, I mean, I think we can be relaxed about it for a couple of weeks. But I think when we get to game week 9, I think the incentive is there to get it right. And I hope by then we've got a clearer view, because at the moment it is a bit of a guessing game right now. John, to your views on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm actually thinking of doubling up at some point, getting Lallana as well. I'm looking at Antonio. I'm a bit worried about him at the moment, just because West Ham are just in a bit of a malaise. So. Lallana for him, and having Firmino. And I started with Firmino, got rid of him, missed his 15 points, got him back in. I mean, I can't keep doing that all season. We either got to stick with him or get rid. And I think Lallana's good, and I think the fixtures are so good. They're scoring so many goals. Before the season started, in my head, I targeted Chelsea and Liverpool, and the key reasons was they had a perfect storm. They're a good side with good managers, with good attacking players, no Europe. So no distractions. It hasn't kind of worked out for Chelsea the last couple of games, but Liverpool are on fire. So if they're scoring 4 or 5 goals against terrible sides, I think you're going to want to double up. And I think because of all these other expensive players, I think it makes Lallana he's like a jack of all trades and master of them all. So he's created 9 chances. So that's just behind. That's on a par with Mane. And he's got shots in the box. He's 10 to Mane's 11. So he's on a par with that. And he's had 3 assists, 3 goals. This is the most out of them all. So, he looks great. I really want him.
Yeah, there is a case for doubling up from game week 9 onwards, definitely. I mean, you back them again. They've got Swansea and United. I think they're going to cause United a lot of problems. And I think they could profit in that game as well. They love big games, don't they? Klopp's shown he can score. He'll go on the attack against bigger teams. So I don't know. I think we can be relaxed and go, okay, let's give Firmino a bit of time. But I'm hoping to God that there'll be 1, maybe 2 that really stand out from the pack, and it could well be Mane and Lallana, or this Coutinho factor as well. But let's hope we've got it right with Firmino. Let's see. We'll give it a couple more weeks, definitely. Next question, Jonty.
Well, we're talking about third strikers. So we've talked about the expensive ones. So lots of people have been asking about this. FIFA asks, who's the best third striker for the next 4 to 6 game weeks? And Rakam asks, is it worth playing third striker roulette and swap them around with the fixture? So obviously, Mark, you did very well with Defoe, so he's your third striker. Benteke came back from the dead, seemingly, and put in the most amount of goal attempts of the week. The last game week.
Yeah, he went from 1 effort in 2 games to 7.
And I could keep a hold of him because they have the odd good fixture coming up. Plus, it could be something to do with Scott Dan not there. If maybe they're all aiming at Scott Dan, and if Scott Dan's not there, we'll go for the other big lad. So I don't know, but yeah, there's plenty of options. So I had a look at the last 2 2 matches. So who are the key contenders? So put this into some context. Top is Ibrahimovic, 10 goal attempts. Aguero with 9. So these are the big lads here. But they're just behind with 8 goal attempts over the last 2. It's Defoe. And then on 8 as well, Benteke there. So these are 2 good options, great options, I think. Then there's Deeney with 5. So he's starting to go down a bit in terms of goal attempts. But Deeney's got the fixtures. Austin as well. So Charlie Austin, another back from the dead.
Yeah.
And Rondon is ticking away nicely. I think I possibly wouldn't say, get Rondon. But if you've got Rondon, I probably wouldn't be getting rid of him. And then bubbling away at the bottom, there's Rashford. And a player, this is if you really want to go differential, folks. So, I think he could be an option for Burnley if you have faith that Burnley can score goals.
I mean, Deeney's the one with the fixtures, definitely the next 4. Bournemouth, Middlesbrough, Swansea, Hull. You'd think that, if you're going to use anything as a guide, it would be the fixtures, and you go Deeney. He's on penalties as well. Defoe has surprised me because he's kind of crept up and he's level on points with Ibrahimovic for nowhere near the same price, and he's on penalties as well. And they do look like they've got a bit more attacking spirit amongst, with Moyes. He's getting Defoe more of the ball. He didn't get any of the ball at Spurs, but he definitely did in home games. So I'm going to stick with him, but it's tough. I thought Benteke would stand out a bit more, but then the fixtures are against Palace. So there's no perfect storm, as you would say, Jonty, is there, out there?
No, and that's it. You've got to weigh up. And partly it's kind of what you've gone with already. It's kind of, but all those players I've mentioned, if you've got them, kind of stick with them, I think. I mean, you've got Defoe, so why change Defoe? I mean, you'd just be changing him for another third striker that's quite good, like a Benteke or Deeney. Austin as well is there. I mean, I think any of them, get any of them, whichever you get, and it's going to be personal preference whether you're a form or fixtures person, but I think they're all really good options as well.
Rashford's the one who could change it, couldn't he? And Jensen maybe at Spurs as well, but neither United or Spurs have got really fantastic fixtures either. But Rashford probably has it in him to just overcome fixtures and score a blitz of goals, and suddenly all bets are off and we're all going to Rashford. He's the one there, you think. Because even if Defoe got a couple of goals next week, we're not all going to convert to Defoe. We'll go, okay, well, he's had his game week. But Rashford is different. If Rashford starts banging him in, suddenly we'll go, in that United team, I've got to have him. Luke, your views on this?
I was going to say, you're sure about Defoe, because the week after that they play Stoke and then West Ham. So I think everyone would be going on Defoe straight away if that happened. I think Defoe's the best option. I think you've pulled an ace out of your sleeve there with him. I think he's got penalties, like you say. He's the only one who looks like he can score for him. And Stoke and West Ham in the next 3, how's he not going to score more goals? He's surely going to get more.
Yeah, he's got good fixtures and he's got form, so he's probably the best option at the moment. But Deeney would be my second choice. But I'm just saying, there's not one that leaps out. I mean, Defoe, yes, possibly, but it's just that home games he doesn't normally do very well, but he's broken that hoodoo, I guess, on Saturdays, and maybe that fear is out when he got 5 out of his 15 at home last season. So, and that's always tricky because you think, well, you're going to play him in the easier fixture. But yeah, okay, I'll take it. Yeah, Defoe is a good option, but I just think you're onto something with Deeney as well. I think he could do well. And I think the Burnley fixture, forget about that. I think Deeney's the talisman in that team, and I think they're going to win 2 at least of those 4 games, and I think he'll get goals. Andy, your views on the third striker?
Yeah, I kind of like Rashford, to be honest. I think, yes, Liverpool and Chelsea away isn't the greatest fixture, but it's not like they're keeping clean sheets along with most of the league right now. And then over that, you've got Burnley and Stoke, so I think he could be a really good option there. I'm going to be looking for a new third striker if I get rid of Ibrahimovic, and I'm looking at Austin. I think if he can keep his play, which is the worry there, because obviously they've got Long and Redmond seems nailed on. So a little bit worried about nailed onness. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of like Austin. He seems to be in good form. Southampton are doing well. Fixtures, again, aren't the best. But like you said, apart from Deeney, no one really has a fantastic run of fixtures at that kind of price right now. So, yeah, I'm looking at Austin for me.
Yeah, Shane Longpitch is going to fall off the wall if you keep talking like that.
Yeah, I know. He seems to be like the guy they bring on when they need a bit of pace, I suppose. But Austin did it again, did it for QPR, so I'm hoping they can just keep.
Well, this is it. I remember that season we didn't hesitate to get an Austin then, and he was in a much better team than Southampton. So
he just seems to score. Like he's just one of those guys that has a knack for getting a goal like every other game or whatever. So
yeah, he's a predator, and he only needs one, and he's got a hell of a shot, and he only needs one chance to score, as he showed. So Austin at 6'2" is a massive enabler. You know, the purpose of a third striker often is to free up funds, and he's someone perhaps you're going to alternate with a fifth mid. So Austin fits that category. Defoe, probably I'd be too worried about rotating him. I've got to play him every week, so I'm relying on him hitting form all the time, which maybe will, maybe won't. John T, your views on this? I mean, do you think Rashford's going to break out, or do you think he's just...
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking now, I'm just thinking, actually, because Lukaku, game week 8, right, Lukaku's up against City. So it's not like an immediate good player to get in for that. I mean, obviously he's good for long term. But, you know, I'm actually starting to think, well, maybe I might actually get Defoe or Rashford in for Ibrahimovic. And I go with 2, and that gives me lots of money in the bank and a bit of flexibility, and then kind of move one of them out to Lukaku. Perhaps I don't know. Perhaps another player will come into form as well. We don't know. We don't know if Giroud's going to come back. I mean, faint hope there for Giroud fans. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think about 2 third strikers, because once you get away from Aguero, I mean, I've got Ibrahimovic. Lots of people haven't got him, and so. You just think, well, he's not a must, is he? So Aguero is the only real kind of essential striker, really.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I just think Lukaku's had one blank. Let's not get carried away with that. I think if he goes to race against Palace, suddenly...
Then you're probably going to be contending with a 0.3 price rise if he does that. But it's just because he's got City, and I just think, if Lukaku doesn't do well this weekend, his price won't rocket. I can afford to wait a bit for Lukaku and get a player with a better fixture who's going to get me that return, and then I can weigh up maybe Benteke to Lukaku, maybe Defoe, Rashford to look. I can weigh that up then.
Yeah, and if you can get through the next 3 or 4 game weeks without Lukaku, his fixtures really stiffen up after that.
Yeah,
he's got a run of United, Arsenal, Liverpool at home.
Well, that's what I was looking at really, and.
Yeah, I think it's with Lukaku. He's so funny. We've said so many times, in the games we expect him to score, he'll do it like he'll do nothing. He has gone to City. He's gone to the Etihad and scored before.
Yeah.
You can't rely on him. You just got to get him in and take it on the chin, haven't you?
Yeah, he's a season-long player, I think, Lukaku. I think you either commit to it or you don't.
Yeah, it's like the David Silva situation. You can't read him really. It's very difficult. So you might get away with going without Lukaku for a couple of weeks, but it's just whether he doesn't against Palace. Because if he does, then you've got to get on quick because he'll rock it, won't he? So tricky. Defenders. This is even trickier though. Defence.
Well,
Where do we go with it?
Well, yeah. So FPL Virgin asks, is there any point in spending more than 4.5 on a defender? So we're talking about lack of clean sheets here. And SS asks fullbacks over centre-backs. I had a look into this actually because I was thinking, okay, we're 6 game weeks in, so who's doing better? Well, jury's still out. Maybe not enough stats, but so I had a look at the top 20 in terms of total points in FPL. 10 centre-backs are in there, 9 fullbacks, and then there's Daily Blind. So he's a bit of both. So and only Walker fullback. It's got more than 30, so he's got 34 points. So there's not a lot of points there in defence as well. And then I had a look at bonus, pretty similar again. Once again, Daily Blind is there, and fullbacks 9, centre backs 10, pretty even. Blind is the only one to get over 150, but on bonus point system points there.
But he's been playing centre back and full back, hasn't he? Yeah.
See, that's interesting because we pinpointed him last season as a player because we saw him in some other games being classified as a defender and absolutely dominating the points. In FPL, he wasn't. Now in FPL, he's in defence and he is dominating by bonus points. He's in terms of bonus points, he's the best defender out there.
Yeah, he just hasn't got a cemented role, has he?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Looking at some stats, I did some stats on this before we came on, and clean sheets this season so far we got 25, right? 25 clean sheets after game week 6. Last season 39 at this point, so 14 less clean sheets. Right, the season before that 35. So we're definitely down. Right now, when you think about it, that's not just clean sheets, that's bonus points as well, missing from keepers and defenders. So all those clean sheets normally generate quite a bit of bonus as well because. In a clean sheet scenario, defenders do well for bonus. So a lot of points are out of the goalkeepers and particularly defence this season so far, which means, more goals are going in. I think this season, let's have a look at the goal count so far this season. It's 176 goals compared to 146 last season at this point. So 30 more goals, right? So clearly the balance of points is shifted to midfield and attack. Defenders aren't getting their clean sheets. There's more goals, so midfielders and attack are getting more points from goals and assists. So the point about, is it worthwhile spending in defence? No, it isn't, is it? At the moment, it looks that it's open. The case is closed. It's invest your money in midfield and up front, clear your money out of goal and a defence. The question is, will it ever shift? When will it shift? Any views on that, Jonty?
Well, towards the end of the season, well, not the end of the season, the second half of the season, traditionally we start seeing more clean sheets. People have got things to play for, tightening up. The better teams tend to do better against the weaker teams. You don't get matches like Watford beating Manchester United. Well, you do occasionally, but you don't get so many of them. But yeah, I agree. But so basically what people are looking for now is cheap, good defenders. These are the ones who are going to get them some points as well. So I've got some names here if you want to hear them. So best centre-backs. So I had a look, because centre-backs are really the ones that are the ones who are going to be in the box at those set pieces. So I looked at, there's only 5 defenders who are actually putting in, on average, a goal attempt per match at least. So obviously Scott Dan's at the top there, but then we've got Smalling as well. So that's his average at the moment. So he's getting an attempt in the box every 65 minutes. Pretty good for a defender. So he's one to monitor. Is he nailed on? Toby A, my unpronounceable friend at Tottenham as well, he's in there, always bubbling under with a goal. And Ayala at Middlesbrough. So, I mean, bearing in mind Middlesbrough playing West Ham next, who are terrible, Ayala could be a lovely little differential there for someone.
The thing is, he's rotating his defenders though, Karanka. So Ayala was on the bench and changed.
Could be. But yeah. But Shawcross as well is another. So he's an old favourite of ours, Shawcross. He used to rack up so many points for us.
All of those players are over 4-5, right?
Yeah,
I just don't see anyone doing that.
If you want to get those type of players, you've got to spend a bit of money. Otherwise, I mean, I think you might as well just have some blanks in there. You might as well just get 4 million non-playing ones because they're only going to get you 2 points. But fullbacks, I think, are where it's at. Klein, once again, he's a bit pricey. But he's top of the chances created. Then you've got Norton at Swansea. There's Loughton at Burnley. Cedric, now, this is a cue for Luke, because I know he's a big fan of Cedric. He might have something to say about Cedric. So Cedric's in there as well. Baines, Fuchs, Bellerin. Pricey. And then you've got Daniels, a bit cheaper. Then Walker, pricey again. So all of that, Cedric's actually looking the kind of best value there.
Yeah, he's 5 million, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it going, I'm waiting for Southampton's fixtures to cheer up. But yeah, I mean, Luke, you like Cedric? He was a good player in Sky, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's just, I think last season he showed glimpses of his attacking potential, and he was obviously new to the league. Manager didn't quite fancy him. He did rotate him quite a bit, and obviously went and won the Euros with Portugal. He's come back. He's played every game. I think it was his rotation because he signed Puel. Signed the other right back, didn't he? That hasn't played yet. Yeah. So there was a bit of a worry about him, but now it seems like he is first choice. He's right up there in all the stats. Shots on target, I think he's the joint second best. He's got 6th highest amount of successful passes in the final third. He's second for crosses. He's second for crosses completed. Clean sheets, they've got 2, which is pretty good. I mean, there's only one team with more than that. It's just, everything seems to point to him apart from the fixtures. So
yeah, you look at it and they've got, after the Burnley game, it's City away, then their next 3 home games, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, which you don't need some clean sheets.
But as we've seen, if clean sheets aren't happening anyway, does the fixtures even matter? I mean, just stick him in, see what happens. He's got attacking potential there. And it could be for the more long term. It saves you a transfer further down the line. It's more.
But this is why I've got 2 West Brom defenders, because it's like if you're gonna have bank on attacking points, might as well get 4 5s who can get attacking points. And they haven't done it yet. McCauley started well, but it is really odd this season. I don't like it when I've got Valencia, but he's hanging by a thread, to be honest. If United don't get a clean sheet at home to Stoke, I'll be like, well, do I keep him? Because it's the incentive to flush the money out of defence and look in midfield at the moment is so strong. And if we're not going to get clean sheets out, if you're spending 5 or 5 or 6, then why bother? It's very odd season. Andy, what's your views on this?
Yeah, I just echo what you guys have already said. I suppose like there is not no clean sheets, but there's a lack of them this year. I mean, I got Baines. He's my highest priced defender, and I've kind of got him because there's a few other players around that price, maybe slightly more. So if I do need to get on one, I can. Trying to be a bit flexible. One of the questions about defence was about Arsenal defence, and they've got some really good fixtures coming up. Obviously, we are going to be banking on the clean sheets and hoping that they turn, and they could do it with the fixtures they've got. And then when you look at someone like Bellerin, who right now we think 6.5, that's way too expensive. But with those fixtures, he could easily match a midfielder at the same price, or probably even do better. So in terms of value for money, although it looks quite expensive now, it could actually be pretty good. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at Baines is probably out this week, so hopefully, so I might have to change him. So I'm looking at possibly bringing an Arsenal defender. I don't know if I can stretch the Bellerin, but someone like Koscielny or Mustafi maybe.
Yeah.
And hope they can turn it around and bring the clean sheets in.
Yeah, Koscielny and Mustafi got goals in as well, I think. And
Yeah.
I think you're right, Burnley, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, you've got to think if ever Arsenal...
There has to be some there, surely.
Probably, yeah. And the thing is, you're looking at bonus when you get that as well. And Bellerin is, he's a great player, but it's just at the moment, it's very, very hard to spend that money there. Maybe, John, you were talking about when it's going to change. Christmas is always a period as well. When the fixtures come thick and fast, it tends to be clean sheets tend to rack up then, or it seems that way anyway, because teams, I don't know, there's less attacking intent sometimes, and there's more games that end up being 1-0, and maybe that was a turning point. But at the moment, it's hard to see. Normally, at this stage of the season, with the promoted teams keep it really tight. We saw Burnley win 2-0, and I thought that was a sign of things to come from them. Maybe it is. They kept one last night as well. Maybe Burnley, and you mentioned Loughton, could be an option. But it's tough. It is tough, John. I see myself maybe getting Valencia out next.
Yeah, I've got Leighton Baines and Valencia, so there's money there to be freed up. And Baines, it looks like, it's looking pretty dodgy that he's actually going to be playing this Friday. All the signs are that he's not going to make it. So I'm going to be looking to move him on, I think. But I've got Collins as well. So Collins is now a non-player. So now that's a tricky one as well. Well, yeah. Well, yes, he was, because he was getting me no points in his 180 minutes. He played for me, he got none. So yeah, he might as well not play. And I've got Amat, who I'm not going to want to play for a while, but I'm happy to have a Swansea defender a bit later. But yeah, maybe get just stock up on the West Brom are just full of. I've got Johnny Evans. He's going to get the odd clean sheet here and there. Fixtures stiffen a little bit, but sometimes that's in West Brom's.
Yeah, the thing is, the way I look at West Brom is that I'll play them and hope I get a goal out of it, because I think one in 5 or 6 weeks, one of them will score. Evans or Macaulay or Dawson will score. So if you've got one of them, you'll get something every month. Maybe you'll get something out of them. I don't know. And that's the best you can hope for at the moment. Holebas, maybe I might. What's the views on Holebas? He's got the 4th booking, but he has got good fixtures, and that was going to be my straightforward transfer. Should I be put off? He's got one more booking and he's banned, so he'll miss one of those games. My fear is he'll get banned, and then Kennedy will come in and have a stormer, and then he won't get back in the team. But are we giving up on Holebas? Luke, you've got him, haven't you?
I've got him, yeah. Obviously, it's been tinted somewhat by that performance on Monday night, because it was just so dreadful from Watford. But I think if you take that out of the equation, he has been really good for him. He's been heavily involved. He's had lots of touches. He always bombed forward. He is a bit of a hothead, as you can see by those yellow cards, and he got it for back-chatting the ref, I think, the other night. So you just worry about him. And obviously last season he didn't play a lot of games, and he is getting on as well. So I do think Kennedy may come in for him at some point. But for now, I still think he's a pretty good option for the short term at least. I think it's one to react to rather than to do it now. If you haven't got him like you, I probably wouldn't be getting him in.
No, it was cut and dry until then, but now I'm thinking twice about it. So yeah, shame. One more question, Jonty, before the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at Southampton really. So because this is a real form v fixtures thing, they've got the form, but the fixtures are dire. But so Pat Cisse, I wonder which team he supports. He said, "Are Southampton the ultimate test of form versus fixture? Are the defenders and Tadic and Austin viable options?" Now, Tadic is an interesting one. I got rid of him on my wildcard. I do regret that now because it went against my thing about fixtures. Fixtures were okay, and he had the underlying stats, and he still had them, and those underlying stats have proved right because he's been racking up some points.
He's returned in the last 3, hasn't he?
I think you have to go with. I personally have to go with fixtures. I think they're quite tough. But I am considering Cedric because I think in the absence of clean sheets, I just want to get a nailed-on defender who's going to get me the chance of bonus points and the possibility of an assist, vague possibility of a clean sheet. So yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, Austin is more than capable of scoring against any team, really. Tadic is more than capable of scoring and assisting against any team we saw last year. Game week 8 is coming up soon.
Well, this is it.
Tadic is a hero. They got Burnley. That could be one of those Southampton games where they just go absolutely monster.
Because it is game week 8. Southampton have been the team, haven't they? It's been Aguero and Southampton basically in game week 8.
So Austin is another player for my Ibrahimovic swap in game week 8. That's another one I'm considering. The other good thing about Austin, and same with Defoe as well, is, well, Austin may not get picked for England. We assume he won't, but he might do, by Gareth Southgate, the New England manager. But Defoe won't, probably. And so this is good. So there's less chance of an injury. You won't have to nail-bitingly watch an England match and, oh, please don't get injured. And so these are the good players to look at. I'll be thinking about Benteke, though, playing for Belgium. So hopefully he won't get any minutes.
Yeah, the international break coming out always painful when we saw it, and it's the rest of the rotation. We saw Coutinho and Sanchez both rested when we came back. So,
well, Firmino's in the Brazil squad. There's a worry.
Oh, so he's going to go away this time, is he? Okay, yeah. Well, it would be a worry. It's set. Liverpool got Manchester United after the break, haven't they? So you've got to think you've got to play them in that game. So that might save us. There'll be a private jet to get Firmino and Coutinho back early, I imagine. Okay, weekend preview. Let's have our clean sheets and fancy. I mean, clean sheets not easy. 25 all season. Let's try and find some here, though. Luke, do you want to go first?
I'm going to take the easiest one. Then Arsenal, surely Arsenal are going to get one. I know it's away to Burnley and they've just scored a couple, but I think on paper that looks the easiest one. Gray's still going to be out, isn't he? So it's just Vokes really for them to cope with. Surely they can do it.
You say that, set pieces, though. You know, they know what they're doing.
Mustafi and Koscielny had a hold of Costa the other night and he was giving them a rough enough. I think they're the best bet. Okay,
it's funny you think that's the obvious one. I think there's a few more there. Andy?
Yeah, I'm not even going to pick the one that I think you're probably thinking of. I'm going to take Watford against Bournemouth, and I'm back Holebas. I hope you can get a clean sheet there at home.
Good man.
Yeah, I think that's an option. I mean, the thing is, Bournemouth are strange. So they haven't got a big goal threat. They're capable of scoring one. I don't think they're scoring more than that. But yeah, Watford all our confidence is sapped after Monday night. But I just wonder if they'll turn it around at home to Bournemouth. We'll see. That's an interesting one. Holebas, good option. John T.
Manchester United against Stoke.
Yeah, has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think on paper it has to be. You never know this season, but yeah, I think they'll keep clean sheet.
Okay, there's not much left. I'm going to go for West Brom. I think they'll keep a clean sheet at home to Sunderland. I think that they're good away from home, West Brom. They don't concede much. And I watched Sunderland, and they won't have Januzaj. He's out for 6 weeks, so that's a lot of inventiveness gone from the midfield. They're relying then on Watmore to create the chances for Defoe. If you shut Defoe down, you shut Sunderland down, haven't you? So Pullis knows what he's doing. I think West Brom could get a shutout there. So I'll go for them. Which makes me think, should I play? I was going to play them all out attack this week and only play one West Brom defender, but I'm wondering whether I should now. Don't know. It's that Capoue factor at home to Bournemouth. I've got to play Capoue eventually, haven't I? Home to Bournemouth. Maybe that's the time. Let's see. Fancy on and risks. You've got one, haven't you, Luke?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Balassi. He's against his old team. That's basically the whole basis for it. I just can't see how he won't try and stick it to his old team. The crowd are going to be on him. They love him there. I just think it's a proper showmanship, isn't it? Sorry, a proper showman he is, and it's kind of created for him. So I just think he's going to, hopefully give us some points. Yeah,
and he'll be up against Kelly, who's standing in left back as well. Coleman, who right back working with him. I think that cause a problem. He was going to be my fancy on a risk. I'm going to pick another player who's probably not a risk at all, but I'll talk about them in a minute. John T, yours?
I'm going for Chelsea, a Chelsea player, Willian. He's top of my assist imminent table. So after Milner's success last week for different reasons, I'm going to go for him. He's had 17 chances created over the last 4. He's played 35 crosses over the last 4, 15 of which were successful. That's pretty high numbers. And he's taking 21 corners. I think Hull are going to be. You've got to look at it. Chelsea are Chelsea and Hull. I think there's goals there. I think if you've got Costa, hold on to him, and I think Willian's going to be getting some assists in that game.
Yeah, they've got a weakness down the left-hand side as well. Paul's talked about that in an article tonight. in big numbers. So that's worth looking at if you're a member. There's some interesting numbers in there. Okay, Andy, yours?
Yeah, so my policy for like the last 3 weeks is just back against West Ham, so I'm going to do it again this week. I think Negredo is probably too easy, so I'm going to go Stuart Down in 2 assists in the last 3 weeks. Hopefully
Former club.
Former club, yeah. So hopefully he'll get his first goal of the season against West Ham, who just are rubbish right now. Okay,
so here's a name I'm going to throw in there. We haven't talked about tonight, and we really should have done. That's why I'm bringing him up. Not really a risk. Theo Walcott. Why are we not talking about Theo Walcott? We've talked about Sanchez and his form, but going to Burnley on Monday night, and he's making all the right noises. He's saying he's a different player now. He's a right winger. He's not a striker anymore. And it looking like Sanchez is going to hold the central attacking one, which means Walcott's probably going to stay in the team. What do we think about Walcott? There's been an article this week, hasn't there, John T, from the community? So what were the points raised in that?
Well, Bobby F, one of our regular community writers, he's been on fire with his articles recently. He was talking about Hazard's poor away form, proved correct. Proved about the difficulties of Liverpool in midfield. Well, that was proved correct, as in they're all quite good. But his latest one, Walcott, and he says everything's coming together now. Walcott always, for those that are new to FPL, Walcott's a legend in the past. Absolutely. Every time he played, he would score. He could score 4 or 5 goals in a match. But then came rotation and lots of injuries. So we just didn't know whether he was going to play, whether he'd get subbed off. But now he's got form on his side. He's got the history. He's got the fixtures. And he's also in the team. He's
7'5". He's
nailed on, and he's 7'5". And he's another player I'm looking at. It's a lot of value there. I think that's a good choice. And also 97% of people don't own him. What are they doing?
And look at those fixtures: Burnley, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Sunderland. It's a real option. I mean, we said a couple of weeks ago when Walcott came up, didn't we? We all shook our heads and went, never, we can't go there. But it's strange. I mean, it just some of the things he's been saying, and obviously he's doing the talking on the pitch as well as off it. And you've got to wonder if Giroud's not coming back in, if Sanchez staying central, then suddenly you're looking at 2 Arsenal mids as well as 2 Liverpool. I think it's because they've got goals in them, those two, and Walcott, stats monster, isn't he as well? That's the other thing. Absolute stats monster. Views on Walcott, Andy? You got any at all?
Yeah. It was actually last week he came up when I said, I can't believe we haven't spoken about him sooner, because he is, like Johnny said, a fantasy legend. And I'll be looking at him next week. I'm going to bring in an Arsenal midfielder, so he'll definitely be on the radar. But I mean, obviously Sanchez is the man to get. But it's a lot of money though. The price difference there. And if Walcott's nailed on, I'm happy to have him. It's just always that worry about when Ramsey's back. Will he go back on the right? Will he come in for Cazorla, Xhaka, whoever? We just don't know. Then they have got Giroud and Perez, who we're kind of expecting at some point to come in. But Sanchez is playing so well. Who knows? Right now it looks like a great purchase. I'm just worried in a few weeks' time that won't be the case.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's going to be an Antonio replacement. I think if Antonio blanks at home to Middlesbrough, people are going to get fidgety there. And if Walcott does anything at Burnley, we might see some traffic go his way. Very good option. So he's my risk. I don't know if Green Wimmer will let me have that one. John, do you reckon it will?
No way. You're going to get in trouble for that.
You will get in trouble for that.
He's scored too much this season already.
Yeah, okay. Green Wimmer is the arbiter of all fantasy.
Yeah, I think it's because of the form. Because of the form he's in. If Walcott was just suddenly not nailed on and was in terrible form, then I'd say maybe. But
last week I could have had him, couldn't I?
Do you want to go for one like a backup one?
Well, I'll go Seamus Coleman. You were shaking your head at him, but I think he'll do well in conjunction with Balassi down there.
He might squeak in.
Yeah, he's not even our first choice. Well, I suppose he is with Baines out.
If Baines is out, he's absolutely.
He scored last home game, and I just think they'll get at Palace down there.
I'm really kicking myself I didn't get Sanchez now as my risk after you picked those ones.
Sanchez is a captaincy. Let's talk about captaincies. Let's talk about our transfers and captaincy. I'll go first. I'm not doing any transfers, I don't think. I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'll risk Collins going down in price. I don't think he will. I think because he's so cheap, people are getting rid of other players. So I'm going to sit tight, I think. I was going to go Halabas, but I'm not sure now. I might play all-out attack and just play Macaulay and then put Capu in because I've just got to play him at some point. So no transfer and captain Sanchez, I think, at the moment. Sanchez. Luke, transfer and captain?
Transfer is pretty easy because I've got KDB and I don't have Sanchez. I saved the money anyway for that move for this week, just taking a 1-game punt on KDB. So it's kind of worked out nicely, I guess. So yeah, Sanchez will be coming in. I'm probably going to be doing AOE as well, AOA I should say, because I've either got to play Walker at home to City or Capu at home to Bournemouth. So I think Capu's got to be risked. I'll try that. They didn't even use it last season, I don't think, so it'll be new for me.
Did you not? You just let it burn, did you?
I think so, yeah. I just never had the opportunity. I might have used it at the end. I can't even remember. It was such a non-event.
Yeah.
Captaincy, it's going to be Sanchez or Lukaku. I'm not going to go Aguero. I know that for sure.
Lukaku, okay.
I just think Lukaku, he's got the Monday night thing, and I know it's not a Monday night, but it's still an 8 o'clock single game week, and I think it's kind of got similarities. He may just turn up. Also,
they haven't got Dan. They shipped 2 goals to Sunderland, so...
Yeah,
could be something in there. I haven't even considered Lukaku to be fair, but yeah, interesting.
First, isn't it? He's going to make or break it. First game.
Yeah, Friday night captain. No, we don't like that at all. That could be terrible. Andy, captain and transfer.
Yeah, transfers. I don't think I'm going to make one. I mean, obviously I've just come off the back of a wild card, so I kind of planned a bit in advance. But I do have Baines injured potentially, and then rubbish defence on the bench. So I think AOA might actually be played for me as well. I'd have Lovren and Holebas at the back, and then Capu would come in as the 5th mid, maybe get some points off him finally. And then captain, I think it's going to be Ibra. And I think next week we're all going to really wish we went Aguero.
Yeah.
I don't think we just see Southampton and think, we'll go someone else. Aguero's so good, isn't he? But I think I'm going to go Ibra.
Yeah. Okay.
One last thing
I think that's a good choice for you, given that we talk about the veterans done, and the top 100 have moved to Aguero, so he's amongst the hardcore. Ibrahimovic is going to be a differential, believe it or not. John T, your views? I mean, you go Ibra?
Well, I'm very similar to Andy. Yeah, it's going to be between Aguero and Ibrahimovic. I mean, I think they're the best 2 options in my team. So I can't decide at the moment, but it'll be one of those 2. And transfer, same issue as Andy again, Baines. I've got Baines. I don't think he's going to play. I don't necessarily need to get a cheap defender, so I might get your man Coleman in, seeing as I don't have any Everton. And I think he's good. The search for points from defenders might as well. I can just afford him.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well transfer, use that 5 million, 5 to just make a change every week if you can afford to do it.
Well, Daily Blint's another one looking at, which just sounds a bit odd. But if he's going to be a regular and if he's going to get bonuses a lot of games, well, once again, gold dust.
Well, he should play that Stoke game, shouldn't he? You should get 1 game out of him, that's for sure. FanDuel, John T, while you're on, so I beat you this time, 2-1.
Yeah.
I got 2-7. What did you get?
220 something or other.
Okay. So Allen was my secret weapon. We went on the hot topic on Friday, and everyone looks at our teams and goes, "Oh, well, you're going to win that easy, John T." And I was like, "Hold on a minute. Have you realised that actually having defenders who can see goals doesn't matter? It's all about interceptions, blocks, clearances."
I think we're getting there with the defenders. I think they realise now that good defenders against good teams are going to rack up the points. So Curtis Davis is a legend in it. But yeah, they're a bit new to the wonders of the defensive midfielder in that game. So yeah, you're right.
And Joe Allen just came in for me. I just had a feeling with him because he was cheap and he was playing number 10. Didn't think he'd get a goal, but I thought he'd get me 20 points just from his his all action performances because he racks up a lot of passes, tackles, and so on. So he's a good player in that game as well. Yeah. So let's see, 2-1. I've closed the gap to see if I can put it level this week.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the other thing about FanDuel is these are the players you want, the ones that are going to get about 20 or 25 points just simply from showing up and doing their stuff. This is why I quite like William as well because that's what he does. He gets about 20, 25 points. So if they score or assist like Alan did, well then you're looking at 40, 50 points, which is you start getting money there.
Yeah, that's the difference between not winning money, winning a tenner, then winning big money. So I got a tenner out of this week's points, 276. Not bad. I'm struggling to push up into the big money, but that's when you need some freaks to turn up in your team and you get 60, 70 points sometimes. It hasn't quite happened for me, but let's see. I'll get my teams in this week and we'll see if I can level it. Thank you very much, Andy, for popping on the Scoutcast again. Sorry about your wild card, but I'm sure it'll pick up. Ibra captain, let's see if he comes haunting you in your dreams prior to Saturday, see if that changes your mind. Luke, thanks for standing in for Granville as always. And again, good luck with your wildcard this week. We'll see what happens there. And Jonty, rough of the smooth, community questions is always a pleasure. Let's see if I can beat you in FanDuel and see if I can take a bit more, widen that gap a bit more. I'm worried about Ibra though. I think you're both going to go Ibra, aren't you, Andy and Jonty? And that could hurt me. Yeah, I'm worried about that. Petrified. Yes, let's see if I risk Sanchez on the Sunday captain. We'll see. I'll probably play safe and go Aguero after all this talk. I'm all talk. It's a good night from me.
Good night from me.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night all.